Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays for tonight's 14-game slate in the NHL. Let's get right into it. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do, highlighting these 14 games in the NHL tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Islanders taking on the Panthers, Flyers at Canadiens, Blue Jackets at Penguins, Blackhawks at Senators, Capitals at Maple Leafs, Red Wings at Hurricanes, and the San Jose Sharks taking on the Minnesota Wild. Next set of games here, we got the Golden Knights at Jets, Flames at Blues, Rangers at Avalanche, Kings at Oilers, Ducks at Kraken, Predators at Coyotes, and the Dallas Stars taking on the Vancouver Canucks. And then here's a quick schedule update. Got a video here today, nothing tomorrow with just one game in the NHL, but I will be in my Discord on Saturday breaking down that 10-game slate as well. If you have not joined my Discord yet, it is completely free to do so, and there's a link to join in the video description below. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight now. With 14 games, 28 teams to choose from, there's obviously a lot to love about this slate in general tonight, but one line that I like targeting is that first line for the Carolina Hurricanes. You got Aho centering Gensel and Jarvis. This line has truly been great ever since adding Gensel to it, combining for 11 goals, 12 assists, 23 points, and 53 shots on net in just their last 6 games. Since becoming a line, they're averaging 4.11 goals per 60 minutes, and that ranks 14th best overall out of 233 qualified lines this year. Plus, you're getting strong correlation with all three of these guys playing up on the Hurricanes' #1 power play in a solid spot at home tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, who've allowed 3.33 goals per game this year, the 8th most in the NHL, and they've really struggled on the penalty kill as of late. Now, when it comes to a cheaper line stack here tonight, I was going to highlight that second line for the Seattle Kraken with McCann, Eberle, and Schwartz. They're very affordable and a good spot at home tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, but the San Jose Sharks continue to be a team that we pick on, so any opponent that's playing them, I probably want to have some exposure to that. That's why I like this second line for the Minnesota Wild here tonight with Rossi centering Hartman and Zuccarello. Look, the first line for Minnesota has truly been great, especially with Eriksson Ek centering Boldy and Kaprizov, but they're also super expensive here in this matchup tonight, so I like pivoting to this second line against the Sharks. We're going to see Zuccarello play up on the #1 power play for Minnesota, Hartman and Rossi play down on the #2 power play, but again, the Sharks have been a team to pick on all year long, and especially as of late. They've allowed 4.03 goals per game this year, the most in the NHL, while having the league's 5th worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 74.5% rate. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. And again, don't forget my Discord channel is completely free to join. There's a link to do so in the description below on this video. If you can't find that, just shoot me a comment and I'm happy to send you an invite there. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. And the first guy that I got at the top is Filip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators, who is truly playing lights out hockey right now. Maybe the best hockey of his NHL career. He's racked up 11 goals, 8 assists, 48 shots on net in his last 10 games, averaging close to 24 DraftKings points per game, and he's also lit up this Arizona team in 3 games this year, putting up 3 goals, 3 assists, and 18 shots on net, averaging 26.5 DraftKings points per game just against them, playing up on the first line and #1 power play. I also like Brian Rust of the Penguins here tonight in a good matchup at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that's allowed 3.67 goals per game this year, the 2nd most in the NHL, while having the league's 7th worst penalty kill. He's got 7 goals, 3 assists, 35 shots on net in his last 10, averaging close to 15 DraftKings points per game, playing up on that first line with Crosby, as well as the Penguins' #1 power play. Now, I just name-dropped Jared McCann when going through the line stacks. I do like stacking up that second line with him, Schwartz, and Eberle. It's very affordable and a good spot tonight at home against Anaheim, a team that's allowed 3.58 goals per game this year, the 3rd most in the NHL, while having the league's 3rd worst penalty kill. They also lead the league in minor penalties per game, so the Kraken should see some solid time on the power play tonight. McCann's numbers don't look great here as of late, but he's the best pure shooter on this Kraken team. You can see there he's got 30 shots on net in his past 10 games, playing on that second line and #1 power play. Drake Batherson is offering some nice value at $5,500 for the Ottawa Senators. He's got 4 goals, 6 assists, 28 shots on net, and averaging close to to 12 DraftKings points per game over his last 10, playing up on that first line and number 1 power play, and a good spot tonight at home against the Chicago Blackhawks. And then Jamie Benn is offering terrific value with how he's playing here as of late. 8 goals, 8 assists, 16 points in his last 10, averaging close to 17 DraftKings points per game. Certainly a tough road matchup here tonight against Vancouver, but he's got a hot stick right now playing on that second line and number 1 power play. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, and again, with a 14-game slate, there's a lot of elite options to spend up for, and one guy that I would be willing to spend up for here tonight is Zach Werenski of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's such a well-rounded defenseman and playing really good hockey as of late. 2 goals, 6 assists, 45 shots on net, and 18 block shots in his last 10 games, averaging 16 DraftKings points per game. Someone who's going to log around 24 minutes here tonight, playing up on that number 1 power play and penalty kill for the Blue Jackets. Now, I almost went with Jacob Chychrun here, the Ottawa Senators, as the next play, but I do like Brandon Montour tonight of the Florida Panthers as well. He's got 6 assists, 28 shots on net, and 14 block shots in his last 10 games. Those numbers could certainly be better, but I like the spot that he's in at home tonight against the Islanders, a team that has the worst penalty kill in the NHL, hitting at just a 72% rate. Montour's an offensive defenseman who logs around 23 minutes and plays up on that number 1 power play for the Panthers. Liljegren continues to offer really nice value here at $4,300 for the Maple Leafs. 1 goal, 6 assists, 17 shots on net, and 27 block shots in his last 10, averaging close to 12 DraftKings points per game. As long as he remains up on that number 1 power play for the Maple Leafs, especially in this 4K range, I think he's going to offer some nice value. And then again, got some sub 4K defenseman plays there for you. McDonough and Barrie of the Nashville Predators, Schultz of the Kraken, Schneider of the Rangers, and Chisholm of the Minnesota Wild. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you, and we didn't get to play Freddie Anderson of the Carolina Hurricanes on Tuesday, so I am expecting him to start here tonight at home against the Detroit Red Wings, and really expecting the Hurricanes to bounce back after losing the other night 4-1 to the Penguins. But as I mentioned in that video on Tuesday, Anderson has truly been lights out ever since returning from the IR, going 6-0-0 with a save percentage of .951, goals allowed average of 1.34, averaging 20 DraftKings points per game. Now, if I'm looking to save some money at the goalie position tonight, Tarasov of the Columbus Blue Jackets is sticking out to me. He hasn't had a great season overall, but he's actually been really solid in his last 10 games, going 4-4-1 with a save percentage of .932, goals allowed average of 2.47, averaging close to 18.5 DraftKings points per game. And the Penguins did have a big win on Tuesday night against Carolina, but this is a team that's just gone 4-8-2 over the month of March, scoring 2.79 goals per game. And as always, going to wrap up the DraftKings plays here with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. First guy that I got is Connor Garland of the Vancouver Canucks, currently playing up on that first line with Pettersson, as well as playing up on the number 1 power play for the Canucks. He's looked solid here in his last 10 games. Scott Laughton's really heating up here over his last 5 games, playing on that second line and number 2 power play for the Philadelphia Flyers, in a good spot here tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. And then Josh Doan was fantastic in his first ever NHL game, scored 2 goals, had 6 shots on net, hit 29 DraftKings points, and he's sitting at the bare minimum of $2,500 on DraftKings tonight. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 14-game slate, and in the meantime, I'm out of here.